Hello everybody, so this video is entitled Bots Are Real, 2 stocks to play the advent of bots, at least 2 stocks that I'm looking at. And of course on this channel you know that I own Tesla. Tesla is my number 1 position, and with Tesla you get exposure to the bots. But you see, the bots, they are this kind of deep tech innovation, meaning that most spreadsheets, most of Wall Street don't see them coming, don't even count them as a possibility. The market still laughs at them. But I anticipate that in the coming years, bot stocks will actually trade up, and I think they could trade heavily on narratives, especially when we get a new Fed chair and when the market gets risks on, hopefully in the second half of 2026. So there's 2 stocks I want to discuss regarding bots and bots being real. But before I do, in a channel first, let me show you a video which you may have seen, and I think this video made it real to a lot of people because this is all over social. So let's look briefly at this video. This is of course the Chinese New Year video, and these are the Unitree. We're waiting on the new version of Optimus. We're waiting on the new demo of Optimus. We know Optimus is already very, very impressive. We're waiting on the new demo. What's impressive about Optimus is the hands. What's impressive about Optimus is also the way Optimus walks. And of course, Elon is all in on Optimus. Before I talk about Tesla a second, let me be clear. I don't buy Tesla because of valuation. Tesla is an N of 1 type of stock, to quote the 0 to 1 book. It's an N of 1 company, just like a Palantir, just like Apple back in the day. Tesla is also likely super cheap if you take their 10 plus business division, and then you project the revenue 10 years out, and then you do a discounted cash flow analysis, discounting it back to today. Tesla would likely look extremely cheap right now, but Tesla is also the most hated stock out there, and any non-believer would literally poke 1,000 holes in each revenue line and call Elon delusional. So we need to be very careful. Of course, people dismiss Tesla so quickly. They call it a cult stock, and perhaps there's a little bit to say about that because it's a stock that trades heavily on narrative. But I think the bot stocks are going to trade heavily on narrative, and Tesla is perhaps the ultimate narrative stock, and I think the narrative will be very strong when the awareness around humanoids rises. And Tesla has a lot of advantages compared to, for example, Figure, who is not a manufacturing expert, who doesn't have manufacturing in-house. Tesla is a manufacturing expert. They are building a robot not as a prototype, but as a manufacturable product, just like their cars. That's why they're able to do these cars. Every 5 seconds, a new car comes out. Tesla is working on a USA-based supply chain where they own most of the supply chain. They are making their own parts for the robot, like their actuators. They are making everything from scratch. The bot is built from scratch. And Tesla, in my view, is also very likely to be the only bot who will be sold in the USA and who will be allowed in the USA. And that's probably going to be because of national security grounds. I don't need to show you the video of dozens of fighting robots for the Chinese New Year. For national security ground, I think robots in the USA will be USA made. And so hopefully, by the way, hopefully Europe and bots sold in Europe will be either European made or, at least ally made, maybe USA made. But unfortunately, Europe is often welcoming open arms, with open arms Chinese technology. And so, that could be a national security issue, if you ask me, if you have, because keep in mind, over the long term, very serious pundits believe you could have a 1-to-1. You could have 1 bot per person, right? And so if you have 1 bot per human in the country, you want to make sure you don't have a national security issue. Of course, this is something Elon talks about quite a bit, and I think he's right on that. This is an even bigger deal than cars, right? And cars are already a big deal from a national security standpoint, because they are technically weapons. You could technically take them over with IT and have them crash places. But bots are obviously even more of a national security issue. Moving on to the other stock that I think is a good bet, and this time This stock I like because of the valuation. The valuation is dirt cheap at a 0.17. The rule of 40 is a 52. That stock is Xpeng. Xpeng is predicted to grow its sales next 12 months at 55% revenue growth. The gross margin is 17%. They are nearing EBITDA profitability. I like Xpeng's number very, very much, and I think the stock is cheap, therefore making up for the China risk, making up for the Chinese stock discount risk, making up for the usual anti-China narrative whenever we deal with Wall Street. The CEO is often compared to the Musk of China. He's often dubbed to be the Musk of China. So CEO, oftentimes the CEO of Xpeng is actually referred to the Musk of China. And there's one other thing about Musk. Musk is essentially, Elon Musk said, oh, there's going to be two big players in the robots. It's going to be Tesla and it's going to be the Chinese. And whenever Musk says who's going to win, I listen. You may remember a few years back, Elon Musk was saying that NVIDIA was going to win. And of course, he was right. NVIDIA is well over 10x when he had said that. So when Elon Musk says the Chinese are really good when it comes to robotics, I think he is to be believed. They are a formidable competitor. And like I said, Xpeng, the numbers look good. And the auto business of Xpeng could probably support its valuation at 0.17. Xpeng is a copycat of Tesla. They are just as good as any other copycat, if you ask me. This is an example of inside of their car. The self-driving, the self-driving is not quite as good at Tesla, but you can clearly get the feel of how close it is to Tesla. But of course, Xpeng has that optionality in the robot. For me, I own it. I want to own it for the exposure to the bot, for the exposure to the robot, and the robot is. Of course, let me show you the IRON bot. So this is their robot, which also was all over social media. So this is a demo that's a few months old, and people don't believe their robot because their robot looks too human. So this is what they had to do. They had to open it up. So you can see they're opening it up, and they're cutting through the bot. And then you're going to see the bot walk. So this is the Xpeng bot. And perhaps less advanced than the Optimus bot with the ends. But this is very impressive to me, if you ask me. So you're going to see the robot move on its own. And yes, that's quite impressive. And that's the kind of Xpeng CEO, which that's his name, by the way. He named the company after him. But you can see this is quite impressive. And then I have a final video, which is, it seems like the Chinese love to have their robots do kung fu. So this is an example of the same robot. This was a few weeks ago doing kung fu. And so you can see, I would argue that is very, very impressive. And Xpeng, to those who want to own it, I think that gives a real option to that. And at least, if not real, an access to the narrative. And last but not least, they also have an eVTOL and an eVTOL program. And I think for Tesla, I think eVTOLs are missing. They're missing in that story of the Tesla story. But we already know Musk said that the new Roadster would be very impressive and might be able to fly. So I think Tesla will get into the eVTOL business and the drone business eventually. It's a necessity. Maybe with some of the tech of SpaceX, I don't know, but I think they'll get into that business too. So I like Xpeng quite a bit, and of course, if you know what I'm doing, if you want to know what I'm doing, stay tuned with the channel and with the Patreon. But I think these two stocks are quite interesting. So anyways, this was not investment advice. This is not financial advice. This is only entertainment. I'm hoping you were entertained. Please like, please subscribe, follow me on Patreon, follow me on X. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful, wonderful day.